The things that matter most happen right in our own backyard. Our neighbors, our schools, the places we go, and the people we know. And now there's one news outlet where our story is told. Delaware Live. Locally owned, community-based news. Free to every reader, because Delaware's future belongs to all of us. Quality journalism we can trust to help us take on the day. Delaware Live. Our state, our news, our home.
Welcome to blustery, and I do mean blustery, Delmarva Christian School for today's softball game between the top-ranked Royals with a record of 8-0 and the fifth-ranked visitors from Appo High. They're also undefeated at 6-0. Great to have you joining us here on Delaware Live, powered by 302 Sports. I'm Glenn Fraser alongside Shannon Timmons, Benny Mitchell producing, and Matthew Westcott on camera. The Appo Jags, coached by Brian Timpson, are coming off a 2-1 win at Indian River Saturday as Savannah Laird and Ayla McCathern combined on a one-hitter. Mia Boyd's two-out double in the second inning scored 2 Appo runs, and that held up for the win. Appo only managed one hit, that one double off of Indian River's Kinsley Hall. She was impressive, and she's just been on the wrong side of 3 losses to Appo, Delmarva Christian, and Sussex Central. She struck out 17 in that one-hitter in the loss. So far this season, Shannon, Coach Timpson is relying on the Laird-McCathern combo in the circle. He hasn't really gone the whole distance with his starting pitcher.
No, and Savannah Laird certainly can, but he has picked up Ayla McCathern, and she's young, but she is poised in the circle and is able to help them out right away as a new young pitcher. She was with him this year. I think she's playing shortstop today. So be interesting to see how long he lets Laird go before he brings her in. She seems to be his closer, and he's always got a strong lineup. So it'll be interesting to see this matchup today.
It sure is. I can't wait to see Yoder in the circle for Delmarva Christian. I haven't seen her live yet. And when you get in a game like this where you're going to have strong pitching and strong winds into the outfield, it's going to be imperative to limit the mistakes. And with the win that we have, you got to really stay with the pop-ups today.
You do, and it's going to be a pitcher's duel today, I think. Both of these are very, very strong pitchers in the circle for their respective teams, and they haven't put up a lot of runs on the Delmarva Christian side until they paid Archbishop Spalding from Maryland. We haven't seen them score a lot of runs, and Appo has not scored a lot of runs. He's getting excited today.
Brian Timpson does his little pre-game dance.
So Appo only scoring 2-1 in the Indian River game, and they've had some blowouts, but not necessarily tough competition yet. So this is definitely going to be a pitcher's duel, and we're excited to see that today.
Rachel Fetterman is in her first year as head coach for the Royals. What a way to start, having senior Kaylin Yoder pitching for the first time in high school after 3 years of not being able to do that, playing mostly travel ball. But she's been recognized and noticed. She's already committed to Liberty University. Shannon, she's been dominant in the circle, and she also offers them a lot of offensive production.
She does. She is the complete package, it seems to be. Again, I have not seen her pitch live yet until today, so it'll be exciting to see what she does in the circle and see how she attacks the hitters. But she certainly is the complete package for Rachel Fetterman. She's scoring runs. She's competitive. And she, from what I understand, is their team leader. She is their hype person. She gets them going every day. So that's really important coming out of the circle. And certainly as a senior, obviously her first year here at the school, but as a senior, that's important for leadership.
Nice sunshine out here today. We're going to be battling the wind and the sun glare out here in our position, almost straightaway center field, out beyond the outfield fence. The umpires are here now, got a good crowd for this game. Again, a top 10 matchup. We're looking forward to it. Let's take a look at our top 10 going into this week. Delmarva Christian, we had at number 1, followed by St. Mark's, also undefeated at 2nd. Sussex Central with the 1 loss to Delmarva Christian in 3rd. Caravel, 2-1 mark. We have them ranked number 4. These Appo Jags we have coming in at number 5, followed by Milford, Smyrna, Laurel, Indian River, and Middletown High School. And then Middletown went and lost to Polytech just the other day. So Polytech has a couple of good wins under their belts this season, and they've lost to very good competition. So Polytech's on the outside looking in.
They have it. It's interesting in your top 10, some of the losses these top 10 teams have are just to each other, actually. So it's very competitive here early on in the season. And we were talking before we came on air about the pitching across the state and not so much offense this year. I typically say that, as a pitching coach, that pitchers have the advantage. They've been throwing all winter with their pitching coaches. They've been working on their pitches, and the hitters haven't seen live hitting. So pitchers are definitely dominating right now in the circle for a lot of teams, and games are close. So it should make an interesting run for the rest of the season.
I would say, and we'll see if you agree, that the best offensive performance I've seen so far this year is the Caravel Academy Buccaneers and what they did to Smyrna last week with Holdsworth and Grigo and Diomede. You can go on and on. They might be the best offensive team so far this year I've seen.
And I would agree with you. And what's interesting and just they're superior in the way that they are able to hit for power and play the short game. And so Coach Johnson up there has a lot of threats in that lineup, and they're going to be very successful. Only losing one player off that state championship team last year, and he has players 1 through 9 that can hit. So regardless of the situation, they find a way to be successful.
Okay, that's a look at our top 10. Of course, I want to mention this. A lot of people maybe not too familiar with the program here at Delmarva Christian. Well, they had a real good team a couple of years ago, and maybe you'll remember the power hitter's name, Candace Schlebach. She had 16 home runs her senior year to lead the state, and she's continuing that power at Del Tech and Community College. She's hit 14 home runs so far this year in 28 games.
That's incredible. Absolutely incredible.
Of course, that's Division II softball down there at Del Tech and the Owens campus in Georgetown, and a really fine program down there. They have a really good overall record as well so far this season. Umpires meeting out in the center of the diamond with the two head coaches, Fetterman and Timpson, and the captains for Delmarva Christian out there. I don't see any captains for Appoquinimink representing the team. We're going to step aside. We'll be back in just about a minute or so here, and we'll have the starting lineups for you for this afternoon's top 10 matchup in high school softball.
Hi, I'm Scott Kammerer, president of Sodell Concepts, the best restaurant group in the state, and we're inviting you to come join our team. Sodell Concepts is a growing hospitality company with 16 restaurants and a variety of other hospitality businesses, all located in beautiful southern Delaware. We have recently added many departments to our executive leadership team, including a training department, a property development department, and a construction department. We invite you to come live at the beach and work with a growing restaurant group with many opportunities to advance your career. Sodell Concepts Restaurant Group, come check us out.
Glenn Fraser and Shannon Timmons back here at Delmarva Christian School as the Royals take the field. Just about ready to go to start this one. So let's set things for you defensively for the Royals. Katie Thompson's behind the plate. Kaylin Yoder, their outstanding pitcher in the circle. Around the infield, Lydia Woods at first, Lily Fetterman at second, Bella Marinelli at short, and Rachel Hall at third base. In the outfield, right field, Riley McCluskey, Maggie Witkowski in center, and Taylor Lowe in left field. Batting order, for the fifth-ranked Appo Jags, a 6-0 mark. Elazar will lead off in center. Then Russo bats second. She'll play first base, followed by the pitcher, Savannah Laird. Batting cleanup, Lily Papelis over at third base. In right field, Rodriguez. The DP is Widows, the shortstop McCatherine, catcher Boyd. And then Foltz, the second baseman, will bat ninth. The flex player is Watson, and Watson will be out in left field.
And Coach Timpson from Appo had some replacing to do after losing all state seniors. Olivia Marinucci, who's now at UD, Julia Welgars at Washington College, Haley Watlington at Millersville, Alexa Fitzgerald at Alvernia, and they were all four of them all state selections last year, first team. So he had some defensive changes to make. and put in some younger players. So we'll see how they match up today.
Those were pretty good bats, too, that you just mentioned.
They were
Stan.
excellent bats.
Yep. All right, ready to go here with the leadoff batter. Again, the lefty, Elazar, the center fielder for Appo, facing Yoder in the circle. And we're ready to go. Number 1 against number 5 here on this Tuesday afternoon. And our apologies, we can't do anything about that wind. Oh, gosh, it's about 30 miles an hour. First pitch, a bunt attempt, and that's fouled back behind the catcher.
It's interesting to see Appoquinimink start with small ball attempts when you typically have this type of pitching. If they think they may struggle a little bit, we might see a lot of short ball today, Glenn.
Yeah, you and I were talking about that before we came on the air. Yoder back on the rubber, ready to deliver the 0-1 pitch. Another bunt popped up and out of play back behind the backstop. So quickly 0-2 on Elazar.
We saw Yoder warming up, a little bit of a changeup, so it'll be interesting to see if she changes speeds here with the 0-2 count.
No, she went right down the middle, and that's a called third strike. She's averaging double-digit strikeouts in her 8 games. Brings up the first baseman, Russo, Brianna Russo. Tall right-hander for Brian Timpson's Jags.
Appo has a nice mix of classes too.
Swing and a miss at a fastball on the outside corner.
Coach Timpson's got 4 seniors, 3 juniors, 6 sophomores, 2 freshmen, so that's a nice balance to have.
Sure is. Gives you something to build on every year. That's high and inside, and the first ball delivered by Yoder. And you talk about Delmarva Christian, they're just not very deep. They don't have much of a bench, so they rely on the starters. There's no no designated player, no flex player, and that's low for ball 2.
When you have an arm like Kaylin Yoder in the circle, you don't need the depth.
No.
They're fortunate there.
Well, she's definitely one of the fastest throwers I've seen so far this season based on this early first inning action.
Committed to Liberty University to go play for Dot Richardson.
And that's a called strike, the inside part of the plate. 2-2. Laird is on deck. And that wind is blowing almost straight out to us in center field. Anybody can get a hold of one as hard as Yoder is throwing, and Laird does too. It might go out of here today. Swing and a miss. 2 up, 2 down, both strikeouts. That brings up Laird.
Savannah Laird, a senior for Appoquinimink, headed to Virginia Wesleyan next year for softball. Was a transfer back to Appo from DMA a year ago.
And I think she took something off of that one. Swing and a miss. Looked like Savannah was out in front of that pitch.
So far, Yoder being really efficient with her mix of pitches.
Another swing and a miss, so Yoder has Laird in an 0-2 hole, trying to strike out the side here in the top of the first. Yoder's set and ready. That one's high and tight for a ball. Two balls is as deep as she's gone on these first 3 batters. Here's the 1-2. Swung on and missed. She strikes out the side in the top half of the first. So Appo will be taking the field. We'll set their defense for you. Savannah Laird is the pitcher this afternoon. Behind the plate is Mia Boyd. And Boyd had the only hit off of Kinsley Hall and that game Saturday against Indian River, but it was very important. It was a 2-run, 2-out double. And she's behind the plate. Let's go around the infield. Lily Papelis at third, Ayla McCatherine at short. Lauren Foltz will be at second base, Brianna Russo at first, and in the outfield, Sophia Watson in left, Gabby Elazar in center, Izzy Rodriguez is out in right field. And they will face this lineup for Delmarva Christian, coming in at 8-0 and ranked number 1 in our poll. Leading off, the center fielder, Kwiatkowski. The pitcher, Yoder, is in the 2-hole. Fetterman, the coach's daughter, at second base, bats third. Cleanup is Hall, the third baseman. Batting fifth, Woods at first base. In the 6-hole, the right fielder, McCluskey, batting seventh, the catcher, Thompson. Shortstop, Marinelli hits eighth, and number 9 is the left fielder, Lowe. And again, as you mentioned, they haven't scored a whole lot of runs until the last 2 ball games. They've been in a lot of tight games, but they're playing very good teams. I mean, they beat Sussex Central 2-1, Indian River 2-1, Smyrna 3-1. So it's been those kind of ball games for them.
It has, and I think they've just seen some really good competition early on, and you know, it takes them a little while to get used to seeing some of that quality pitching that we've been talking about so far today.
Well, they faced Madge Layfield and Kinsley also far from Indian River, so.
And Lindsay Roscoe in Smyrna is doing a good job up there. She's just a freshman, so there's lots of pitching to keep your eye on throughout the state here as we get started.
All right, here we go. With the left-hander will lead off. Kwiatkowski. And there's a called strike from Savannah Laird. Kwiatkowski, let's see if she plays small ball here. Fouls that one straight back, so she's in the hole 0-2. Here's the 0-2 pitch from Laird, and that's taken high for a ball.
Again, we said it would be a pitcher's duel today. We are seeing both pitchers waste no time going right at hitters.
And there's a shot, and that's going to be down the the left field line, just foul. Yep, diving attempt made out there by Watson. Count holds at 1-2 on Kwiatkowski. Laird ready with a 1-2 delivery. Taken high for ball 2. Yoder is on deck. And that one's also high, so the count runs full now on Kwiatkowski. Laird trying to get her to go for the rise ball. And that one gets down in the zone, swing and a miss, but she did foul tip it. Well, she'll stay right there with that full count.
Nice quality at bat here.
Yeah, and there's another drive the opposite way. That's off the glove of the third baseman, Fair, and she will hold at first base, and now the throw got away, and it gets away from the center fielders. So now Kwiatkowski will move up to second base, and she's going to try for third. And the throw into that wind is offline. So the leadoff batter works a full count and then gets all the way around to third. And that brings up Yoder, quite possibly the best hitter on this Royals team. And they're going to walk her. They're not even going to pitch to her. Intentional base on balls to Yoder. That'll bring up the second baseman Fetterman. Runners on the corners with no outs.
And Yoder has been responsible for a lot of the offensive production for the Royals, so not necessarily a bad move.
There's a bunt. Yoder moves up, throw to first, out, back to home plate, not in time. And Kwiatkowski scores the first run of the game.
Nice sacrifice bunt by Lily Fetterman.
So 1 out now, Yoder at second. The third baseman, Hall, is up to the plate. I don't know what you call that first one. We're kind of a tough angle to see whether that was a base hit or an error, but Appo definitely had at least one throwing error on that play for the leadoff batter.
It was an interesting way to start the inning, for sure.
Yeah. Swing and a miss by Hall for a strike. They look like the third baseman. I was trying to make a throw to the shortstop, and the ball just got away from her, and there's either a pass ball or a wild pitch. He got away from the catcher, so Yoder will move up to third.
So just 1 out with another run in scoring position.
Right. And now the wind has shifted. If I look at the flag over there beyond home plate out in the parking lot, it's now blowing more right to left. There's a swing and a miss. Nice location on that pitch by Laird down in the zone. Should be 2 balls and a strike on Hall. There's a swing and a miss. Oh, there was 2 strikes on her then. Strikeout for Laird, her first, second out of the inning. And it brings up the first baseman, Woods. 2 outs, Yoder standing on third base. That's fouled off. Couple of mistakes by Appo in this bottom of the first inning. Laird trying to get out of this with just allowing the 1 run. Ground ball, that's fouled off behind the catcher.
And this Royals team has come out swinging today. They've shown no fear of Savannah Laird and her reputation on the mound.
Another foul off. A little bit behind the last couple of pitches. Rachel Hall, third baseman for Coach Fetterman. First-year head coach here at Delmarva Christian. And there's a swing and a miss. Good location on the outside part of the plate. Savannah Laird gets out of the inning by striking out 2 in a row, but the damage is done and a run is in. So we're through 1 inning here. Number 1, Delmarva Christian 1. Number 5, Appo nothing. We'll be back after this on Delaware Live, powered by 302 Sports.
Looking to stay cool this summer?
At Barclay Heating and Air, we're dedicated to keeping your home comfortable year-round.
Family owned and operated, we provide trusted residential heating and cooling services to customers across central Delaware. Our experienced technicians offer reliable maintenance and repairs on all major brand HVAC systems. From air conditioners and ductless systems to heat pumps and furnaces, we also sell and install top quality units. No matter your needs, we're committed to getting the job done right with honest and timely service you can count on. Invested in our community, we're proud to help families in more ways than one, sponsoring and donating to many local programs and organizations throughout the area for dependable HVAC services. Give us a shout or a bark at Barclay Heating and Air. Looking to stay cool this summer?
At Barclay Heating and Air, we're dedicated to keeping your home comfortable year-round.
Family owned and operated,
All right, we're back here ready for second inning action. And so far, Appo has gone down strikeout, strikeout, strikeout. Papelas will lead off here in the second, followed by Rodriguez, and then Widows against Kaylin Yoder, who was intentionally walked in the first inning, but a couple of errors allowed Delmarva Christian to get on the board first.
And with the pitcher of Yoder's quality, I think Appoquinimink's going to need to see some pitching. We'll see if those first 3 hitters were able to help their teammates and give them any information out of those at-bats.
Yeah. Swing and a miss by Papella. She's in the hole 0-1.
And Appo's going to have to make some adjustments in the box.
That ball looked like it had a lot of movement on it. It started out about chest high and then dropped. Now that one went the other way. 0-2. So a little bit of a rise ball there.
Yoder's spinning the ball very well, so it's going to be hard for Appo to catch up to that. She throws hard too, so there's speed involved, and she's got some movement on those pitches.
3 pitches, another strikeout, 4 in a row to start the game. It brings up the right fielder, Rodriguez. Yeah, I think at some point you gotta cut down the swing and maybe just chop it a few, maybe have to a couple of bunts just to get something going here. Make the defense make a play.
I agree. If you have a hard time catching up to her and making those adjustments.
Called strike to start Rodriguez at bat.
And oftentimes it's hard as a coach to kind of take the bat out of the kid's hand the first time at the plate. You know, you want to see what they can do, but that's just something Coach Simpson might have to adjust to as the game moves on.
That just missed outside, a ball and a strike to Rodriguez. You fans can hear that wind. It's brutal here. And Shannon has a lot of experience with the wind at Cape Henlopen High School. This is worse.
Blows every day.
Change up. Folder out in front of that one, a ball and 2 strikes.
So far from what we've seen from Yoder, it's a really nice mix of pitches, and she's spinning the ball well. The ball's definitely breaking around the zone, so that is tough to adjust to.
Yeah, and there's another strikeout. 5 in a row to start the game now. And 4 straight swinging. That brings up the designated player, Widows.
And we've seen some really good pitching in Delaware with the games that we've done so far, Glenn, but by far Yoder's the fastest.
Yeah.
That we've seen.
Now we'll see Madge Layfield coming up on Thursday. That'll be Sussex Central at Cape Henlopen. There's an offer at a bunt and a strike. Yeah, I think you've got to try something like this, just to make the defense, make a play. See if you can field the ball correctly and cleanly. And
typically the lefties are the slappers, but you can shorten up a right-handed batter and shorten up her swing and let her see if she can slap something into play too.
There's a called strike, 0-2 to Widows. Appo looking for their first base runner, looking for the first batter to put the ball in play. Yoder looking for strikeout number 6. And she gets it. Another 1-2-3 inning for Kaylin Yoder. 6 strikeouts to start the game. And as we'll keep it right here with Appo taking the field.
And her rise ball is breaking very well. It's breaking right as they're trying to make that decision. The ball's right on top of them, and it breaks really well through the zone. So credit to Kaylin Yoder so far today.
Oh, you got that right. I was highly anticipating watching her live, and she's everything as advertised.
We've heard a lot throughout the state about her, so it is exciting to finally see her pitch live today. And again, she's not going to Liberty University for no reason.
No.
So congratulations to her.
Exactly. And again, all of that was based off of travel ball, because this is her first year of high school eligibility. First year she's played high school ball. And it's right here at Delmarva Christian. As we're ready to go to start the bottom of the 2nd inning. Leading off for Delmarva Christian will be the right fielder McCluskey, catcher Thompson on deck, and Marinelli, the shortstop, is in the hole. Against Savannah Laird, who basically has not given up a hit yet. Run scored on errors.
And I had a chance to talk to Coach Rachel Fetterman earlier today, and she said it's interesting how Lily Fetterman and Kaylin Yoder are coming together now as seniors on this team. They've known each other since they were 5 years old and played together through Greenwood Mennonite. So that's been enjoyable for her as her, in her first year coaching to see that.
Yeah. She's been on the staff here for quite a few years. I think she told me it was 7. She's been assisting down here at Delmarva Christian, her first year as head coach. That pitch missed outside. 2 balls and a strike to McCluskey. Laird trying to keep the Royals in check. A nice off-speed pitch right in the zone for a 2-2 count.
The control both of these pitchers have demonstrated so far today is incredible.
There's a fly ball. That's a base hit out here to right field. Getting it on one hop is Rodriguez, and the throw in the first hit of the ball game. Brings up the catcher Thompson with McCluskey at first. And you can see how effective the wind was on that hit, Shannon. Even on a line drive, that line drive started out like it was going to drop in just in the grass, and it almost got to the feet of the right fielder.
Yeah, the outfielders have their work cut out for them today.
There's a shot right through the right side. Another hit as they go base to base. Runners at first and second to start out here in the bottom of the second. Brings up Marinelli, the shortstop. Royals have first and second. Nobody out here. Already up 1-0, and I wonder if the coach might not have Marinelli bunting here.
Great situation for it, for sure.
Let's see what the shortstop does. She does offer bunt, pulls it back. Straight steal. A straight steal from McCluskey, and I don't know whether that caught Appo napping a little bit or not, but Thompson holds it first. Swing and a miss. Thompson's going to hold there at first base. Ball and a strike on Marinelli. Low on deck, and then the top of the order. So the Royals got a little something going here in the bottom of the second. Offer at the bunt, and that's fouled. Ball and 2 strikes.
And this just puts pressure on the defense. First and third's always tough. I used to teach my kids it's either first or third, depending on our score, because you can't handle both of them at the same time, so you do have to pick who's your priority.
Throw down to second as the second baseman was on the move when she caught that ball, but they didn't get the runner out, but they did keep McCluskey at third base. Yeah, first and third is always tough in softball.
It's a lot of pressure on your defense, so you have to pick and choose who you're going to go after in that case.
That pitch low and outside, so a full count now on Marinelli. Again, the number 9 hole hitter Lowe is on deck. Nobody out here, bottom of the second.
2 in scoring position.
All right, I missed something here. Lowe's up to bat. And that's a swing and a miss for a strike. So I think Marinelli must have
struck out,
offered at the bunt, and didn't get the bat back. So a 1-1 count on Lowe, the left fielder. Swinging through that one. It's a ball and 2 strikes. 1 out. That's way outside. So Lowe has worked a 2-2 count with Kwiatkowski on deck. She scored the only run of the game at this point. There's a swing and a miss. I think a little something off of that one. So another strikeout, 2 down here.
I just want to recognize the job that Mia Boyd is doing back there behind the plate for Appo. Keeping control of things, and catchers can make pitchers look really good sometimes, and they can not always be your best friend back there, so she's doing a great job.
First pitch a called strike to the leadoff batter, who got on her first time and scored a run. Kwiatkowski hits that one the opposite way, and the left fielder comes in, makes the catch, and that will retire the side. So Sophia Watson with the catch there for the final out of the inning. So Laird gets out of a big jam. There was 2 runners on with no outs, but no runs come across. We're through 2. It's still 1-0 Delmarva Christian. Back after this.
For over 15 years, our company has been building homes in Sussex County, Delaware. We offer a completely comprehensive program for our customers that makes building a new home enjoyable. At Capstone Homes, we have access to lots in our amazing communities or through our realtor partners. Visit with our team of professionals for a completely comprehensive experience. We can handle absolutely every part of building a new home for you and your family. Create your new home. Create a Capstone home. For over 15 years, our
Just about ready for the top of the third inning here with Delmarva Christian on top 1-0. Delmarva Christian with 2 hits in the game, scoring that 1 run. They've left 3 runners on base. Appoquinimink has not put the ball in play. The first 6 batters in the order have all struck out against Kaylin Yoder. And the bat and face against her here in the top of the third will have the shortstop McCatherine, the catcher Boyd, and the second baseman Foltz.
And if you look at what Kaylin Yoder's done to teams that she's faced so far, it's usually double-digit strikeouts. So I think Appo is going to have to regroup a little bit here and figure out a way to get the ball in play, make the defense work, and that oftentimes means going to a short game.
Yeah.
If they can get the bunt down, they may find some success.
Now we'll see what happens here in this top of the third inning. 1-0. In a battle of top 5 teams in the state. Both undefeated coming in.
Ayla McCatherine at the plate now is also the second pitcher for the Appo Jags. Starting at shortstop today.
Ooh, it looked a little low, but she gets the call for a strike on McCatherine. And I was talking to Coach Fetterman before the ball game, and she said her number 2 pitcher, I don't think she's ever used a number 2 pitcher this season, but she's on the injured list. Hutt. Attempt at a bunt. Did she pull it back? No, it's a called strike. And that would be Lily Hutt, the junior, who is injured. And I don't think with Kaylin Yoder, the way she's dealing, you need a backup pitcher. That one's a little bit too low in the zone. A ball and 2 strikes. Of course, you never know what could happen. You know, you hope nothing ever happens to this young lady, because look what happened to Peyton Shields for Caesar Rodney.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. I was just getting ready to go over that. And poor Peyton Shields was having a great year and suffered a knee injury, I believe, and don't know if she'll make it back for her the rest of her season, but certainly, you know, it's unfortunate when it happens. It does happen. It's unfortunate, and we wish those players speedy recoveries.
Yeah, she was dealing in that Middletown game last week, I believe, around the 5th inning or so, and then just in warm-ups, just kind of stepped the wrong way warming up, and out went the knee, unfortunately. Really good kid, nice young lady, and very talented. There's a bunt attempt, go to first, and that retires. The batter, or was it a foul ball? I'm still waiting to see from the umpire. No, that's an out. But again, there's something that breaks up the cycle of the strikeouts.
Yeah. I suspected we would start to see them bunt 3rd inning, see if they can't get something going here offensively.
That brings up the bottom of the order, the second baseman, Foltz. Swing and a miss and a strike.
It's a little tough to see from our position here in the outfield, but it just looks like the Appo hitters are just a touch behind the speed of Yoder today. And certainly they probably haven't seen, other than a Madge Layfield, right? We haven't seen anybody with this kind of speed so far, so.
Last pitch was a called strike, so 0-2 count on Foltz.
Straight speed, something you can adjust to as a hitter, but Yoder's got some movement, so makes your job twice as hard. And there's that rise ball again.
And she strikes out another batter here through 2.5 innings. She now has recorded 8 strikeouts, 8 of the 9 batters that have faced her. So it'll be second time through the lineup for Appo when they come to bat in the top of the 4th. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base as we head to the bottom of the 3rd inning. And Yoder will go from the circle right up to the plate. She'll lead off here in the bottom of the third. She walked and was stranded at third her first time up to bat. Yeah, talking about Peyton Shields, I was instant messaging her a little bit last week, telling her how disappointed I was, and we were all in her corner and thinking about her. Hopefully the test would come out negative, and apparently I don't know whether she even has all of her tests back, but she did get to see a specialist in Baltimore, and I know Coach Fetterman was talking about it with Coach Timpson and I before the game, and just a freakish kind of a thing that happened, and it's so unfortunate. And this game is so much about what goes on in the circle.
It is, and it comes down to the quality of pitching that you have in the circle and how successful your team can be. And pitching is, unfortunately, in a public school situation, something you either have or you don't. You know, it's not like we're in a college situation where we can recruit those kids in that you see on ESPN. Yeah. But, you know, and a lot of schools do the best that they can, and they have players that are not necessarily always pitchers that are willing to get in the circle and help their team out. And then there's teams like these two today that have pitchers by trade, and Peyton Shields certainly another person like that.
Well, at least they're going to start out throwing to Kaylin Yoder here in the bottom of the third. Her first at bat, she was intentionally walked, and the first pitch was outside for a ball. I'm sure Savannah's going to be real careful with her. There's a swing and a foul back. Try to keep the ball outside, make her go the other way with it. Laird on the rubber, checks the wristband, and there's a drive that's foul again down the right field side. So a ball and 2 strikes now on Yoder. Savannah Laird has 4 strikeouts through 2 innings. 8 Ks for Yoder through 3.
Pitch got away from Laird a little bit.
Yeah, but I think I'm eating a little bit of dirt now with this wind.
So 2-2 count. Kaylin Yoder, just an athletic, strong kid.
She just fought that one off. Fouled it over by the Appo dugout. Count holds a 2-2 here in the leadoff batter, Yoder, here in the bottom of the third inning. 1-0 ball game. Delmarva Christian on top. That one's high, full count. Yoder back in the box.
It's always fun to see this pitcher-on-pitcher matchup.
Fouls that one off. Yoder staying alive. Yeah, you don't get too much of that in a college game.
No, you don't.
You're not batting in a college.
That's too much of a liability to let your pitchers bat in college.
So, yeah, it is good to see it in high school ball. There's a shot coming out towards us, and that is gone.
Out.
A home run for Yoder, and that makes it a 2-0 ball game. We had a pretty good vantage point on that one, and once that went off the bat, it looked like it was going to be well over the fence. Home run for Kaylin Yoder. Third hit of the ball game off of Laird for Delmarva Christian. 2-0 game now. That brings up Fetterman, the second baseman. She laid down a nice sac bunt in her only at bat in the first inning. Well, I think they were trying to be careful with her at that at bat, and it just got too much of the plate.
And it was interesting that they intentionally walk her last inning with the runner ahead of her in that situation so that she couldn't do any damage.
Right.
And you try to pick around the plate on her, and she sends one out.
Yeah. There's a called strike, 1-1 to Fetterman. Officially 0 for 0 at the plate. That sacrifice bunt does not count as an official plate appearance. Swinging a low pitch, a ball and 2 strikes. Hall on deck.
The sacrifice bunt, the sacrifice fly is so important in our game, and sometimes, you know, players get upset when that batting average doesn't show up, but they don't understand how much impact they've had and the positive things they've done for their team in those sacrifice situations. They're critical if you're looking at scoring runs in a low-scoring game and creating some offense and creating some havoc on the defense. So it's a really, really important part of the game, and sometimes it's underappreciated, but she laid down a great sac bunt in the first inning.
Situational baseball, especially when you have two good pitchers like we have here today. 2-2 count, swung on, she went down and dug it out. Nice catch by the second baseman, Lauren Foltz, for Appo, out number 1. Brings up the third baseman, Hall, and she struck out swinging in the first inning. Good job by Foltz. Had time to stay with that ball. It was kind of, the wind was blowing it away from her. Called strike on Hall.
Yeah, as we talked about the outfielders, but with the wind blowing the way it is steady today, if the ball's in the air, these players are going to have a challenge.
Ooh, a good movement on that pitch from Laird. That's 0-2 to Hall. On deck, the first baseman, Woods. Rachel Hall swings through that one, and that is the second out of the inning.
And you know, Glenn, we've talked about the pitchers and some of our earlier broadcasts, different games that we've done together so far. We've talked about how important it is for the pitchers to get ahead of each hitter, and both of these pitchers have done that today. So despite the score and despite the ball getting put in play, the pitchers have done their job, and they've gotten ahead of the hitters, and it's definitely helping them be successful.
That was the 5th strikeout for Laird, and then we just saw a really nice defensive play as the first baseman, Russo, went deep in the hole to get the ground ball, and then Foltz covered the bag, and they were able to get the final out in the bottom of the third inning. We are through 3. We had a home run that inning by the pitcher Yoder. We're going to see her come out and pitch against Appo in inning number 4 right after this message on Delaware Live, powered by 302 Sports.
Here at Grip & Mac, we've been serving the Eastern Shore since 2015. We're all about bringing you fresh, quality ingredients. We do fresh pasta, paninis, soups, and salads. We try to be all-inclusive, vegan, gluten-free options. We do a little bit of something for everybody. In the summertime, we make a little over 200 pounds of pasta a day. You can come in and buy fresh pasta. You can bring it home. We're doing curbside pickup right now. A lot of take-to-go. We even have DoorDash if you need it delivered to you. We like to bring you good food fast and not fast food. Here at Grip & Mac, we've been serving the
All right, we're back here. 3 innings in the books, 2-0 lead for top-ranked Delmarva Christian. And really the question so far in this game is, can Appoquinimink get anything going on Yoder? They have not been able to get a base runner.
And Yoder, so far this season, we've seen it. You know, we were just talking, we've seen it in some of the previous games. She pitches and she helps herself out at the plate as well. So we talked about her kind of being the complete package. And, you know, the home run certainly doesn't hurt. And she's a pitcher that can hit and help her team. So hard to believe, you know, the one-man show kind of, but she certainly does do that for her team.
And here she deals to the top of the lineup. So second time through the order. Here's Elazar, the center fielder. Struck out looking in her first at bat to start the ball game. Corners are up a little bit on the lefty. She does bunt, third base line, and it goes foul.
And we did see Coach Timpson in the change of innings bring his team together and talk to them before they went into this offensive part of the inning. So I would expect to see some offensive changes and some strategy put to play here.
All right, 0-1 pitch coming from Yoder. Oh, I think that hit her. No, apparently not. It was
Maybe
really
not.
a tight pitch.
I thought it hit her as well.
Yeah. So good job by Elazar to get out of the way of the pitch, I guess. Yeah, maybe you want to take one for the team and get somebody on base. That one again comes in tight. I saw him raise his hand, but I don't think he called a strike. And we're situated right under the scoreboard, so we can't tell there. I'm going to guess it's 2 balls and a strike. There's the bunt attempt down the first base side. That goes foul. So obviously that was a ball, or she would be out right now. It's a 2-2 count.
I always love this lefty-lefty matchup too. Lefty pitchers, lefty hitters. It's a fun matchup to see where they pitch them and how they come out of the box.
Well, Lazar tried to go bunt third base line. She tried first base line. Both went foul. And she swung through that one. Another strikeout. That's number 9 for Kaylin Yoder, and we're only in the 4th inning. Brings up Brianna Russo, the first baseman. On a windy day in Georgetown. Swing and a miss.
And as interesting as it is to watch these pitchers work and for her to have the strikeout totals that she does, the challenge in having a pitcher that's so dominant is keeping your defense ready. Just in the event that a ball does get put in play,
Right.
How do you keep them prepared mentally and in the game and ready to be where they're supposed to be and cover up and be places and do their job? So I'm sure both of these coaches have to address that at practice with dominating pitchers, as well as, John Wells at Sussex Central with Madge. They have to keep their defense ready.
And you're right, it's easy to fall into a lull watching batter after batter go down.
Your defense becomes spectators instead of
Right.
defenders. So, and we got to remember these are high school kids. It's, you have to keep them focused.
Ball and 2 strikes on Russo. Savannah Laird, the pitcher, is on deck. Swinging a foul back. So through 3 2/3, Kaylin Yoder has a perfect game going here against Appoquinimink.
Something we typically don't speak about, Glenn.
No.
You don't upset the softball gods. We don't talk about those things.
Broadcaster's jinx. Is that
Nice
what you're
change of
saying?
speed.
Fouled off. Good job by Russo to make contact there.
It's always fun to be in the dugout when that happens. The kids start looking at each other and they start getting ready to say things. You're like, no, don't anybody speak of that. Just keep playing.
I didn't go back and look. I was looking at strikeout totals from Yoder, but I don't think she's given up more than maybe a hit or 2 per game.
Oh, that rise ball.
Yep, she got her on the rise ball. Strikeout number
That is definitely challenging for the Appo hitters.
10.
It's effective for Yoder. She gets a good spin on it. It's breaking nice through the zone, and it is tough for them to figure out.
10 strikeouts, 10 of the 11 batters that Yoder has faced. She got 1 on a bunt. And here's Savannah Laird. Swing and a miss.
And I will say, usually as teams see faster pitching, the batters tend to creep back towards the back of the batter's box. And as a pitcher, that's the first giveaway that you can throw a rise ball and get them to swing through it. So if they're all the way back in the box, this rise ball is going to stay effective all day.
Good point. That one just missed. As Laird offered bunt, got the bat back. A ball and a strike to Savannah. With 2 outs here in the top of the 4th. Royals lead this game 2-0. Scored an unearned run in the first, and then got a solo home run last inning from their pitcher Yoder. Good diving attempt by the catcher Katie Thompson, but just beyond her reach. 1-2 count on Laird, or is it 2-2, Coach?
I have 1-2.
Okay, we're on the same page then. And those pages are taped down with heavy tape.
Extra strength duct tape today for the win.
Mm-hmm. There's a foul straight back and out of play.
So at least the top of the order for Appo here in the fourth, seeming to make a little bit of contact, not just swinging through these pitches. So seeing her again the second time, sometimes they can figure out how to barrel up some of those pitches. Just got to get them in play.
Whoa.
And she pulls the changeup.
She pulled the string all right. Good change up and another strikeout. Retires the side in the top of the fourth. Let's keep it right here before we go to the bottom of the fourth. And again, the no-no and the perfect game are all in play through 4 innings for Yoder, who has struck out all but one batter in this ball game. 12 Ks. No, I think I was right the first time, 11. 11 out of 12. And Laird's not pitching that bad of a game. She has 5 strikeouts. She's only given up 2 hits and 2 runs.
Yeah, and we can't lose sight. I mean, as dominating as Kaylin Yoder is, we cannot take credit away from Savannah Laird and the job that she's doing here today for the Appo Jags. This is a tough matchup today.
So McCluskey will lead it off here in the bottom of the fourth for Delmarva Christian in that 2-0 lead. Thompson will be on deck. Marinelli, the shortstop, is in the hole. But McCluskey and Thompson, they both led off with singles last time they were up to bat. Made good contact, both of them.
They did, came right out here to right field and put themselves in scoring position. They just couldn't get them in.
Here's the throw down. Appo's defense ready to go here in the bottom of the fourth. And McCluskey, she worked a 2-2 count before driving her line drive single into right center. 1 for 1 in the ball game against Laird. Goes down low again, hits it right down the line, but just barely foul. She's got the timing down on Savannah.
Yeah, she came to the right side of the field last time too, so that just may be where she's comfortable putting the ball and finding those gaps.
Called strike down in the zone. 0-2 count on McCluskey. Laird with the 0-2 delivery. Goes way outside with it. Tried to get her to chase, she did not. A ball and 2 strikes.
And we were just getting a little programming note here, but definitely want to make sure we give Savannah Laird credit for her job on the mound so far today as she strikes out McCluskey.
Strikes her out looking. That's her 6th K of the game, and that brings up Thompson again. She singled through the right side in her only at bat. I got a break from the wind. You kidding me? There's a ball outside. And here it comes, roaring right back.
You jinxed it.
I was shocked. That one's fouled off. 1-1 count to Thompson. Marinelli is on deck. I was talking to Coach Fetterman before the game, and when they started out in sports and here in softball, they were in a league of mostly Maryland teams. I think they might have been the only Delaware team in that conference. And then the pandemic year hit, and then I think it was even the following year in 21 that the teams that were in that conference with them from Maryland were still not playing.
Yes, and their schedule has changed considerably since that time, where they are picking up a lot more Delaware teams to play. Because of some of those issues during the pandemic. So it has actually strengthened their schedule and given them the opportunity to get into the state tournament, which hadn't happened up to that point.
Right. Good change up there for the second strike. And you look at their schedule this year, they went and scheduled Caravel twice.
Yep.
One-two delivery, and that's a little high and outside for ball 2. Well, we told you about some of the close ball games that they've won, so they're playing good competition early on this season. out of the Henlopen Conference.
They are. They're going to see the defending state champs 2 years in a row.
There's a shot to right field, and right there to get it is Rodriguez.
So they'll see Caravel twice. And
Right.
that's a challenge to Kaylin Yoder and the Royals and the Caravel Bucks.
Yes. And 302 Sports should have that game for you next Tuesday night from Caravel, as we'll have the Buccaneers and the Royals under the lights. It pitched down a little bit low for a ball. This is Marinelli, the shortstop. She struck out her only at bat. So Laird made a couple of adjustments on the two girls previous that got hits in the second inning.
She did. And it speaks volumes. You know, some of these players are still young as far as their softball, playing careers go, and if they're going to go on to play in college, and the adjustment is such a key. If they can just figure out something different to do and make such a slight adjustment that helps them be successful, saves all the frustration, and they get to be set up for success.
Nice movement on that pitch. That is a called strike. 2-2 count to Marinelli. 2 outs here, no base runners in the bottom of the 4th inning. Delmarva Christian 2 and Appo nothing. There's a fly ball to right field, and coming in and make the dive and catch. She made the catch and then hit the turf. Is the right fielder. Rodriguez retires 2 in a row here for Savannah Laird, and the Delmarva Christian Royals go down 1-2-3 in the 4th. Through 4, it's still the Royals 2 and the Jags nothing. Back after this. Ready to go here in the top of the 5th inning, moving right along in this pitcher's duel. 2-0 in favor of Delmarva Christian, the #1 ranked team in the state, an 8-0 record. And boy, Kaylin Yoder, as advertised, 11 strikeouts out of the 12 batters that she has faced through 4 innings.
And we've both had a chance to talk to Coach Rachel Fetterman, who's a first-year coach here at Delmarva Christian, and I asked, just kind of what their philosophy is going into the season with Kaylin Yoder as a first-year player here in their program. And she said, they came up together as a team and said they want to have fun, they want to work hard. And her point to these kids has been to fail forward. They know they're going to make mistakes. This game sets you up for failure. A 333 batting average is great. You fail 3 out of 10 times, or 7 out of 10 times, and only find success 3. But she said to make mistakes and that they don't define them, and they're going to take steps forward throughout the season to correct the mistakes. So great philosophy for her team.
And I tell you what, when you have a pitcher like Yoder dealing like she is today, you don't have an opportunity to make many mistakes. Appo's only put 1 ball in play, and that was a foul by Papelis to lead off here in the 5th. Lily Papelis, the 3rd baseman for Coach Brian Timpson. And you see she was choked up on the bat that time. She wanted to slap at something. Called strike on the outside part of the plate, though. She's in the hole 0-2. I've seen Lily playing since she was a young girl up in the MOT Little League program. Great family. And there's a called strike.
Yeah, you have a little experience with the Appo softball team, don't you?
A little bit. Brian Timpson, I've run into so many coaches up and down the state, and I have yet to meet one that is really not, a good individual as well. Brian's one of the good guys.
And I'm teasing Glenn here because he had his granddaughter play at Appo and Taylor, and now she's at UNC Wilmington. Had a lot of success in her years as an Appo Jag. One of the fastest runners I've ever seen.
Well, thanks for bringing that up, Coach. See, I know where you were leading me there, but I really didn't want to just,
It's okay. We'll brag about her a little bit. It's okay.
Rodriguez up to bat here, the right fielder. Started to go for that and checked. I believe the home plate umpire's going to check, and they're going to say no, she didn't. So I believe that might be the first batter that's got ahead in the count. Rodriguez has a 2-0 count on Yoder. One out here in the top of the fifth. Widows, the designated player, is on deck. Misses low. That's, according to me, 3-0.
It is, and this is the first batter that Kaylin has not gotten ahead of.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll get back to that coaching thing in just a moment. I don't want to leave too many people out. Of course, I'm not going to remember everybody, but
Pitch is being called in from the dugout for Kaylin Yoder.
that's a take all the way and a called strike. 3-1 count. You got to take one there. She hasn't had a 3-ball count all day.
Absolutely. Totally agree with that.
Let's see what happens on this pitch.
And they haven't had a lot of success hitting her, so you have to take that chance.
It's high. All right, so he must have called
So
that
we're
first
off.
pitch a strike.
We're off by a pitch.
Yeah, sometimes these umpires just don't make a definitive move with that strike signal. So it is a full count now. This is the first batter she's really been missing a lot. Hasn't been very close on these pitches that have been called balls.
It's the first batter to a full count for her today.
Yeah.
Like I said, she typically works ahead.
Boy, she reared back and drilled that one right down the middle for the strikeout. So she gets the first two looking here in the top of the fifth. That brings up the designated player, Widows. Widows struck out in the second inning. Thirteen strikeouts in the books now for Yoder. Check swing, that's high for a ball. McCatherine would be on deck, would be the next batter should Widows get on. Appo looking for their first base runner of the game. There's a ground ball foul. Looks like she got an off-speed pitch and was out in front.
And I wouldn't suspect that Kaylin Yoder's, feeling any fatigue at this point, but it may be that some of these balls are pitches that she's trying to work on. And when you're cruising like she is today, you take the opportunity to practice some of that.
Check swing. And that time they're going to say yes, he did go around. 2 balls and a strike on Widows. Had 2 check swing appeals in consecutive batters. And that pitch right down the middle she catches the side looking 1, 2, 3 in the top of the fifth. 14 strikeouts now for Yoder. I want to talk about the coaches because the last few years doing a lot of softball broadcasts here for 302 Sports, I've had the pleasure of dealing with a lot of different guys up and down the state and gals that coach this wonderful sport, like Randy Johnson, the veteran coach up at Caravel, Brian Timpson here at Appo. It's the first time I've met Rachel Fetterman, but of course John Wells I got to throw in there, and of course you at Cape Henlopen in your years, and Smyrna with Shirey, and it's just all up and down the state. Roman Allen at DMA. I can't say that any of them, have given me a hard time or said, no, I'm not going to do this for you. They're all willing to help give information and to let me know things about the team and help us to broadcast a quality broadcast and further the sport.
Well, and their help is crucial. As I've started to do this with you guys and reach out to them, it's really important that they give us the information so we can highlight these athletes. And softball's become such a popular sport now. I think there's 3,000 games this year being televised on ESPN of all different Division 1, 2, and 3 throughout the NCAA, and so it's grown and it's so popular, and it's awesome that these girls have the opportunity to play and they get the exposure through 302 Sports. Really, really important. And I know a lot of the family that lives out of state appreciates the opportunity to watch these kids play. and get to see their games. So, you know, what 302 Sports and Delaware Live offers is incredible for the families and the teams and just our softball community here in Delaware.
Well, we got a pitching change here in the bottom of the fifth for Appo. So McCathern will check in, Ayla McCathern, and they'll just switch positions. Short and pitcher Savannah Laird will go to shortstop, and leading off that's the bottom of the order, Lowe, the left fielder here in the bottom of the fifth. She'll be the first batter to face McCathern in this 2-0 ball game with Delmarva Christian on top. Yeah, I played baseball my whole life. Now, I played a lot of slow pitch softball on legs, but this fast pitch game, as there is a bunt straight back towards the box, fielded by Papelis at third, and the throw is out at first base. Nice bunt attempt by Lowe. She deadened the ball nicely, but Papelis got on it quick.
Nice coverage by the Appo Jags on the bunt.
Anyhow, I was going to say I played baseball all my life, and no offense to baseball players, but their game is so boring compared to softball.
This is a fast-paced game for sure. They're speeding up baseball, though. There's now a clock on the pitchers.
Yeah.
They can't take forever in between pitches. And college softball's instituted 10 seconds. They now even have 10 seconds to get the ball off, so it definitely speeds everything up.
Witkowski, the leadoff batter. She was on and scored a run back in the first, flied out to left field in the second inning, and she takes a called strike for the first pitch. I think I missed that second one there. What was that,
He
Coach?
didn't give a definitive signal.
There must be a ball. 1-1 count. Here's an attempt at a slap, and that swing through for a strike two. Witkowski, the center fielder, and the outfield for the Royals today, not seeing action. Just fouled that one off. Count holds it a ball and 2 strikes. And now the home plate umpire is walking that softball out to McCathern. I don't know whether he's got something he wants to go over with her
Or did that foul ball catch him and maybe he's walking it off?
No, it could be. Nevertheless, a ball and 2 strikes. Oh, went down and a defensive swing there. She missed it. It was not a foul. She's going to get first base. So that's twice that Kwiatkowski has got on without really getting a hit. The first one was an error, and this one is a strikeout and a dropped third strike. And she's a threat to run. One out here in the bottom of the fifth. That brings up the pitcher Yoder, and she homered. Oh, wait a minute. That's not Yoder. There's a bunt attempt, and that goes foul. That's Fetterman, because they walked Yoder. And they walked her so quick I didn't even see it. Just looking down at the paper here, trying to keep the eyes clear from all this dirt flying in my face. Both runners are going to advance. The ball got past the catcher, Boyd. No, I don't blame her for walking Yoder again. I wouldn't give her another shot.
No, and that rule change came a couple of years ago. It's nice where you don't have to pitch to them. You can just intentionally walk them and just put them on. Believe it or not, it's a difficult thing for pitchers to do, to pitch out and intentionally walk somebody. And so it is a nice option that we can just put them on.
Help speed up the game even a little bit more.
Sure.
Fetterman fouled off the last pitch. Now again, that's a late signal. Did he mention that the pitch was high, or did he call it a strike? I can't tell what is going on here. And again, we're positioned out in center field under the scoreboard, so we can't see that. That was definitely a ball.
I have at least 2-2. He was not definitive on one of those calls.
Yeah. Royals threatening here again in the bottom of the fifth inning. Already up 2-0. There's a drive out in front of that one and foul. Fetterman is lined out and laid down a nice sack bunt. McCatherine in her first inning of relief. She took over for Laird.
Okay, one out, runner at second and third, both in scoring position.
Fetterman goes down, fouls that one off into her dugout. Only one out, Hall's on deck.
And we talked about Delmarva Christian not having a lot of depth, but it is interesting that Yoder runs for herself. There's no courtesy runner for the pitcher.
Right. Swing and a miss. McCatherine, good location, outside part of the plate. Hard for Fetterman to reach that. And she is retired. For the second out of the inning, that brings up the third baseman, Hall, who struck out twice against Laird, her first appearance here against McCatherine. Swings through the first one. So Laird got 4 innings of work in, struck out 6. There's a swing and a miss. And McCatherine here in relief in the 5th already has 2 strikeouts.
Keeping the ball down in the zone consistently, and interestingly enough, we've seen 3 different pitchers today, and all very composed in the circle.
Mm-hmm.
Just going to work.
That one missing high and outside. A ball and 2 strikes to Hall. That one also missed high and outside, so a 2-2 count. Yoder is at second, Kwiatkowski over at third, and those two have scored the 2 runs in the ballgame. Nice movement on that pitch for a called strike. That ends the 5th inning. A couple of runners left stranding here by the pitcher McCatherine for Appo. We are through 5, still 2-0 Delmarva Christian on Delaware Live, powered by 302 Sports.
Hi, I'm Scott Kammerer from Soto Concepts. Today we're at Fish On in the Villages of 5 Points. Come check us out. Fish On is committed to serving beautiful, simple coastal cuisine in a cool atmosphere with a happening bar, spacious dining room, and outside patio. Popular dishes include the seafood stew and fresh oysters from the raw bar. Fish On's recently renovated event room and is the perfect spot for your next event. Fish On in Lewis in the Villages of 5 Points, open 7 days a week, best happy hour around. See you soon. Hi, I'm Scott.
We are back here at Delmarva Christian School, where the top-ranked Royals, behind Kalen Yoder, have a 2-0 lead here over the 5th-ranked Appo Jags, who come in with a 6-0 record. The Royals have won 8 without a loss, and Yoder is dealing. She has 14 strikeouts as we head to the top of the 6th inning. She'll first face her counterpart, McCatherine, then Boyd, and then Foltz, the bottom of the Appo order. She's been pretty efficient through the whole ball game, Shannon. I think last inning, a couple of batters got away from her a little bit. She got behind one with her first 3 ball count, but other than that, she's just been lights out.
She's only gotten full count on one hitter, and like I said, you never know. It might be something that they're working on at this point, and she certainly does have the flexibility and having the lead to go ahead and mess around with maybe a new pitch if they're trying something. So that may be why we're seeing some of the balls. Like I said, I can't imagine that she would be fatigued at this point. Her pitch count's not that high.
Throws the first ball down low in the dirt to McCatherine. Here's the 1-0 pitch. And that's a little outside, so a 2-0 count. Yoder steps back, collects herself, looks in the dugout, and checks the wristband. That's the routine for the pitchers in this game. And that missed low, so this is the second time she's gone with a 3-ball count in the ball game.
I mean, we're in the 6th inning. She's under 70 pitches, just at quick glance here at the book. So
no,
fatigue certainly shouldn't be a factor here.
No. See, a lot of these pitchers go 100 plus almost every game.
Yeah, pretty typical, about 130 in high school for a pitch count. And they start getting tired.
There's a called strike. 3-1 count to McCatherine with Boyd on deck. And remember, I don't know whether you missed it, you folks that have tuned in earlier or not, but Coach Fetterman told me her backup pitcher, Hutt, is injured. So should she have to take Kayla now for any reason, I don't know who she'd go to, what her options are. There's a foul straight back. And the count goes full, 3-2 on McCatherine. At this point, though, Yoder looks like she's not in jeopardy of having to come out of this ball game. She's in total control.
No, and we'll see if she brings that rise ball back. She's been super effective with that pitch for the strikeout pitch here today. Spins it well, breaks it right through the zone.
Right through it, right down Broadway. The confidence she has to be able to put the ball right down the middle with the movement and the speed that she has to get a crucial strike. Amazing. Strikeout number 15. And that brings up the catcher, Boyd. She is the only Appo player today to put the ball in play. She laid down a bunt attempt back in the 3rd inning. And
we thought maybe that we would see that adjustment made by Appoquinimink and Coach Brian Timpson. And they did attempt to put some bunts down. They fouled them off, but they kind of went away from that approach, and not sure why.
Yeah, they've been, the times they've attempted it, they've been unsuccessful in trying to get one down. Called strike. Ball and a strike to Boyd with Foltz on deck.
It'll be interesting to see as Kaylin Yoder progresses through the season if she's going to go double-digit strikeouts in many games, what the single-season strikeout record is for a pitcher.
I'm not sure if Madge Layfield was close to that one year or not.
And we go, a couple of years back, Jackie Homiak played at Caravel. And was a dominant pitcher. Looks like that changeup got away from her a little bit.
Yeah.
That's a name that comes to mind that may hold that record. I don't know. Something we're going to have to look into.
I've often tried to look up records in many different sports, and I'm not sure where you...
It's hard.
Yeah.
I know our website for sports only goes back to, 2010.
Yeah.
So before that, those records aren't there.
Swinging strike. And another K in the books for Kaylin Yoder. How appropriate that her first name starts with a K. Brings up Foltz, the second baseman, 0 for 1 in this afternoon's ball game.
And I'm surprised the fans at Delmarva Christian don't have the signs with the K and putting them on the fence as she goes. There's my suggestion for them as the fan base here. See that in college a lot. They start hanging the Ks.
Right. Ball 1 to Foltz. That was high. Sixteen of the 17 batters Yoder has faced have gone down via the K. That one's high, and a 2-0 count to Foltz. Yoder steps way back out of the circle to collect herself. And now she's back in. And she does that little twist move before she makes her delivery. There it is. Right down the middle.
And pitchers will turn sideways. You see it in the college game a lot because of the TV coverage and the scouting. They grip the ball, and as they twist sideways, it's to completely hide the ball from anyone so they can't pick up the grip, so they don't know what pitch is coming. That's why you see a lot of pitchers do that.
She's climbed back to even the count at 2-2 with 2 outs here in the top of the 6th inning.
And I'm wondering if she hasn't figured out what's at stake here today. It might be some internal pressure from Kaylin Yoder.
Swing and a miss. Another strikeout. She strikes out the side in the 6th. She's 3 outs away from a perfect game win. And we will go to the top of the 7th. Excuse me, we'll go to the bottom of the 6th right after this quick message here on Delaware Live, powered by 302 Sports.
Eastern Shore since 2015. We're all about bringing you fresh, quality ingredients. We do fresh pasta, paninis, soups, and salads. We try to be all-inclusive, vegan, gluten-free options. We do a little bit of something for everybody. In the summertime, we make a little over 200 pounds of pasta a day. You can come in and buy fresh pasta. You can bring it home. We're doing curbside pickup right now. A lot of take-to-go. We even have DoorDash if you need it delivered to you. We like to bring you good food fast and not fast food. Here at Grandpa Mac.
Back here, headed to the bottom of the 6th inning here with Delmarva Christian ahead here 2-0. And boy, Kaylin Yoder in control of this ball game, has struck out 17 of the 18 batters she has faced. And she has thrown a perfect game to this point. The only other batter that was able to get the bat on the ball, that was a bunt attempt
From Mia Boyd.
Yep. All right, Delmarva Christian here in their half of the 6th. It'll be Woods, McCluskey, and Thompson. Woods 0 for 2 on the day. First time she's faced McCatherine, and she takes low for a ball. If you're keeping score, only 3 hits in the game. 2 runs on 3 hits for Delmarva Christian. Those 3 hits were given up by Savannah Laird, who struck out 6 batters in her 4 innings of work. McCatherine has 3 strikeouts in her 1 inning of work.
And she's proven to be just as efficient as Savannah Laird and Kaylin Yoder. She's not really fallen behind. They're fouling some pitches off, but you know, we've seen a lot of control out of both pitchers for Appoquinimink today, and certainly out of Kaylin Yoder.
Foul ball over the dugout of the Appo Jags. Well, Kluski is on deck. She has 1 of those 3 hits. Thompson has 1, and of course the 3rd hit, solo home run by the pitcher Yoder. Swing and a miss. And there's strikeout number 4 for McCatherine. First out of the bottom of the 6th, and that brings up McCluskey, the right fielder. Singled and stranded at 3rd base back in the 2nd inning. Really, when you think about it, too, there's only been 1 earned run in the ball game. That was Yoder's solo home run.
And that's been typical of Delmarva Christian games, I would say -2 of their games so far. There's not been a lot of hits, and runs have been scored on errors. And you look at the score and you look at the hits, and it doesn't always match up.
Great job so far in the season by Coach Rachel Fetterman, first-year coach, and this Royals team. And the obvious difference in this game today is, again, Appo's played well defensively. The 2 pitchers have done a good job. They made a couple of errors in that first inning that cost them. But the real difference in the game is Yoder. She hit the home run, and she's been dominant in the circle. And there's another strikeout for McCatherine. 5 for her.
Yeah, Ayla doing a nice job coming in relief of Savannah Laird.
That brings up Thompson, the catcher. She's singled back in the 2nd and flied out to right field.
Coach Fetterman shared some fun facts about her players and said that Katie Thompson is really serious as the catcher, but is most likely to just break out dancing at practice and singing, and she brings the fun, apparently.
Well, she'd get along great with the Appo coach, Brian Timpson, who it's typical of him. It's a routine when they do the infield warm-up. Here's the pitch, swing and a miss. that when they're all done, he does this little dance, and then he takes that bat and he slings it high in the air, and I think he tries to land it right on home plate. Tough to do today with that wind.
Katie Thompson, originally a Cape Henlopen kid too, in middle school.
Okay.
Lily Hutt, who's injured for the Royals, she's also a Lewis kid.
That's a fairly young program for Delmarva Christian. And pitch, a little change up. This is high. But again, they've done a pretty good job over the past 3 or 4 years. And other sports as well. It's a foul back.
And building a program is not as easy as everyone would like to think. Especially building from the ground up.
Mm-hmm.
It's tough.
Coach Fetterman was reminiscing with me, but I think it was the girls' basketball team here a year or so ago that took out the number 2 seed Conrad in the state tournament. There's a swing and a miss and 6 strikeouts for McCatherine in relief. And the final chance for the Smyrna Eagles, for the Appo Jags, coming up in the top of the 7th when we come back right after this.
Hi, I'm Scott Kammerer from Sodell Concepts. Today we're at Matt's Fish Camp in Fenwick Island, Delaware. Come check us out. Matt's Fish Camp features seafood classics, coastal comfort food, and chef-driven specials that pair perfectly with our large selection of craft ales, curated wine list, and camp cocktails. Matt's offers indoor and outdoor dining and is the perfect place to have dinner with your family, happy hour with friends, or enjoy lunch at the Raw Bar. Matt's Fish Camp in Fenwick Island, Delaware, open 7 days a week year-round. See you soon. Hi, I'm Scott Kammerer from Sodell Concepts. Today we're at Matt's Fish Camp in Fenwick Island, Delaware. Come check us out. Matt's Fish Camp features seafood classics, coastal comfort food, and chef-driven specials that pair perfectly with our large selection of craft ales, curated wine list, and camp cocktails. Matt's offers indoor and outdoor dining and is the perfect place to have dinner with your family, happy hour with friends, or enjoy lunch at the Raw Bar. Matt's Fish Camp in Fenwick Island, Delaware, open 7 days a week.
All right, here we go, the final inning. And Smyrna's last, I got Smyrna on the brain tonight. I don't know why. This afternoon,
We've done
not
2
tonight.
of their games, so that's fair.
Yeah, now it's not fair. Come on, Frage. Final opportunity for the Appoquinimink Jags to not only try to get something going, to get somebody on base, period.
Yeah, they certainly have struggled offensively and not made the necessary adjustments to find that success offensively today.
Number 20's had everything to do with that. Number 20's in the circle. Kaylin Yoder, 3 outs away from a perfect game. And the top of the order she will face. Here's Elazar. Fouls it back. Bunt attempt. And she has so much movement on that pitch. That's why it's hard for even them to try to get a bunt in play.
It is, and we've seen the rise ball a lot, and the rise ball is a hard pitch to put down. You know, it's got some backspin to it and naturally is breaking up through the zone, so it's really hard to get that pitch down on the ground.
And that one came in tight. That was a wise decision by Yoder, and that one's fouled back. Elazar did a great job just to get the bat on a period.
Oh, we've seen that with the lefty and lefty matchup, that she comes inside hard on them, and we thought maybe hit one of them at one point, but
yeah.
She definitely is bringing the ball inside on the left-handed batters.
Here's a foul back. Elazar stays alive, 0-2. On deck is Russo and then Laird. Yoder on the rubber. Throws the change-up and just missed high with that. Ball and 2 strikes to Elazar. Deep breath, little twist move. Yoder's delivery, swing and a miss. Strikeout number 18. Here's Russo. I'll tell you right now, this is the best pitcher I've seen in the state this year, bar none. Right down the middle for a called strike. And the heat was on that one.
Wonder what's nice to see. She's not afraid to just go right at a hitter.
Russo fouls that one straight back. She's in the hole 0-2. I think any question about whether Yoder might be tiring a bit has been put to rest. Looks at the wristband. Well, she's going to have to wait for a second because Russo stepped out. And the 0-2 pitch. Change up. Perfect time for it. Had her fooled. 2 outs. And that brings up Savannah Laird. Last chance for the Appo Jags here in the 7th inning. So Yoder has a couple of things he's looking at here. One, a perfect game win. And this, if she could get it, would be strikeout number 20. She would have striken out every batter she faced but one. Laird fouls the first pitch, backing out of play.
And knocking off another undefeated team.
They beat Sussex Central earlier in the season, 2-1, and that has been the only loss for the Golden Knights, who we will see on Thursday. Boy, good location, outside part of the plate. And we're down to the final strike. What do you think, Coach? Change up or fastball?
She's probably just going to bring it.
Popped up, it's in play. And was that a fair ball? It was a foul ball.
Foul ball.
The catcher came out and made a great attempt at that. Usually you don't want your catcher out that far making that play. It's tough with a mask on and everything.
The infielders definitely should have called her off on that. First baseman would have had a better opportunity, I think, there.
So Laird got her bat on the ball, almost got on base.
And that's one of those situations where I have to wonder, you know, they're so used to her striking everybody out, you know, are they ready for that?
Goes with the change, but missed high with it. Ball and 2 strikes on Laird.
Catcher's involved in every play, pitcher's involved in every play. You know, they're both ready to go to work defensively if need be, but.
Yoder, the delivery. Swing and a miss. Ball game's over. 20 strikeouts for Kaylin Yoder. A perfect game. And the Delmarva Christian Royals go to 9-0 with a 2-0 win over Appo. The Jags suffer their first loss of the season. They're now 6-1. Definitely deserving of being a #1 team. And again, let me reiterate, that's the best pitcher I've seen this year.
Yeah, she was very commanding today, and we were able to see the speed and the spin that she does offer, and she did a great job keeping those Appoquinimink hitters off balance to a point where they really didn't or couldn't make the adjustment to get some offense.
All right, we're going to step aside. We'll come back with the post-game show, and hopefully we'll be able to interview Kaylin Yoder. And we'll do that when we come back here on Delaware Live, powered by 302 Sports.
High Five Hospitality, founded in 2004 when 3 guys teamed up to introduce the Buffalo Wild Wings franchise to Delaware. To date, they operate 8 Buffalo Wild Wings in Delaware and Maryland. Also the Stone Balloon and Limestone Barbecue. And let's not forget Eggspectation and 5 Jersey Mikes throughout Delaware. High Five Hospitality's mission is to operate 5 brands that serve high-quality products with exceptional hospitality.
First State Orthopedic statewide has 29 physicians at 16 locations. Our physicians and staff provide both non-surgical as well as surgical treatment for almost all orthopedic conditions and injuries. We are specially trained in the current state-of-the-art techniques. We serve as team physician and orthopedic consultant for over 20 high schools, Wilmington University, and many local recreational and competitive leagues. Our doctors are readily available to the local emergency departments as well as medical aid units and urgent care centers for consultation and treatment. Call for an appointment today or visit us at firststateortho.com.
High Five Hospitality, founded in 2004 when three guys teamed up to introduce the Buffalo Wild Wings franchise to Delaware. To date, they operate 8 Buffalo Wild Wings in Delaware and Maryland. Also the Stone Balloon and Limestone Barbecue. And let's not forget Expectation and 5 Jersey Mikes throughout Delaware. High Five Hospitality's mission is to operate 5 brands that serve high-quality products with exceptional hospitality.
First State Orthopedic statewide has 29 physicians at 16 locations. Our physicians and staff provide both non-surgical as well as surgical treatment for almost all orthopedic conditions and injuries. We are specially trained in the current state-of-the-art techniques. We serve as team physician and orthopedic consultant for over 20 high schools, Wilmington University, and many local recreational and competitive leagues. Our doctors are readily available to the local emergency departments as well as medical aid units and urgent care centers for consultation and treatment. Call for an appointment today or visit us at firststateortho.com.
High Five Hospitality, founded in 2004 when three guys teamed up to introduce the Buffalo Wild Wings franchise to Delaware. To date, they operate 8 Buffalo Wild Wings in Delaware and Maryland. Also the Stone Balloon and Limestone Barbecue. And let's not forget Expectation and 5 Jersey Mikes throughout Delaware. High Five Hospitality's mission is to operate 5 brands that serve high-quality products with exceptional hospitality.
First State Orthopedic statewide has 29 physicians at 16 locations. Our physicians and staff provide both non-surgical as well as surgical treatment for all.
Back here at Delmarva Christian, Glenn Fraser alongside Shannon Timmons. A dominating performance in the circle by Kaylin Yoder today. We have her and the coach, Rachel Fetterman, with us here in the postgame show. And, Coach, you and I talked before the game. Your first year as head coach here, and how blessed are you to have that young lady standing next to you in the circle?
Yeah, pretty fortunate, definitely. Kaylin and I actually go back a long way. I've known her since she was 4. I actually coached her in middle school, and she and my daughter, the second baseman, went to school together from kindergarten through 8th at Greenwood Mennonite. So we live less than a mile apart. So Kaylin and I are pretty familiar, but definitely having her here has been a huge blessing. It's just kind of taken us to a different focus level, I think. I think the girls play harder because they know what they have. Like, they appreciate who she is and what she brings to this game.
And talk about how Caitlin coming in has helped your leadership as a senior coming into your team this year. What kind of leadership she provides for you guys?
So it's kind of in the beginning of the season starting off, I think she felt almost like this is my first year, and even though I know these girls, I don't want to come in and look like this pushover of here I am trying to tell everybody what to do. And I just remember I called her up one Saturday on the phone and I just said, listen, kid, God's put something in you special, and if you don't use it, then you're wasting it. I said, not just in the circle, but who you are to your teammates, to friends, and to everyone else. So I said, I want you to be all that you can be. That's leadership, and as long as you're doing it out of a heart of love, those girls are going to follow because they're looking for a leader, and they want to follow. So step up, be that leader in all aspects, and I promise you, everything will be fine.
Coach, how tough is it in practice to hit the ball to the outfielders and the infielders, and then they get in the ball game and they don't see the ball?
Well, that's definitely been a struggle because last game we played last Friday, and they've hit us the most, Archbishop. And it took us off guard a little bit. So we had to refocus our practices. I'm sure you guys are familiar. First half of the season's a pitcher's world. Yeah. Second half is a batter's world. So you have to redefine your practices based on the confidence that batters are going to start doing what they're supposed to do. And we've made the adjustments. We kind of geared up. We switched some positions around, and we've attacked our defense.
All right, well, let's, Coach, thank you for
You're
your time.
welcome. I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah, here's Caitlin.
Yeah, let's talk to the young lady in the circle. 20 of 21 batters you faced went down via the strikeout. And we were talking during the game, Shannon and I, how appropriate it is that your first name starts with the letter K.
I'd say it's pretty appropriate, especially for the showing that our team has had at the beginning of the season. So.
And then the one time they pitched to you today, you tried to take us out, I think.
Not necessarily.
Oh, okay.
I just told myself if she missed, I wouldn't. So I figured that would be my one at bat. So made it count.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the 2 intentional walks, but that at bat, Savannah was trying to work around you. She was trying to pinch you on the corners. And tell me, what was the pitch that you got that you hit the home run?
She had thrown me out like every single pitch that I got, and then she threw me a couple up, and she didn't come inside to me once. So I put my toes on the line, and I went with it.
Question for you. Just talk to us a little bit about how you like to mix up your pitches. It's a little tough for us to see from out here. It's the first time we've seen you throw live, but it looks like you have a great rise ball that comes in, breaks right through the zone. But talk a little bit how you like to mix your pitches and what's your favorite pitch?
Rise ball is easily my favorite pitch. I also throw a screwball and a curveball. You saw a changeup every now and then. I don't really throw that often, but when it works, pretty good.
Works.
So.
Well, congratulations. Yeah. Is 20 the most strikeouts you've had in a game to this point?
Yes, it is.
We hadn't looked that up. We were thinking that today might be the most. So congratulations. Well done.
Thank you.
Yep. Obviously our player of the game. Congratulations to you, your team, and the coach.
Thank you.
Good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
Our #1 ranked team in the state, and they proved why today here at their home field with a very, very convincing win. So not only does Kaylin Yoder pitch a perfect game, she strikes out 20 batters, but she hits a solo home run.
And she's wearing the number 20, by the way, Glenn.
Yeah, I'll bet that. So, yeah, great win here today for Delmarva Christian. And again, let's give Apple a little bit of credit. Their pitchers combined for 12 strikeouts in the ball game. So there was a combined 32 batters that struck out in this game today.
Yeah, and we have to give Appoquinimink some credit. They did struggle at the plate, but their overall game plan, you know, we have to give them credit. Their pitchers were very successful. Their defense worked behind their pitchers when they needed to. And, you know, in any other day, that's going to be the winning team, right? So they just faced a more difficult opponent in the circle in Kaylin Yoder, and credit to Delmarva Christian.
So Delmarva Christian gets 3 hits today, 1 for Yoder on the solo home run. McCluskey gets 1, Thompson the other, and that was it. 3 hits allowed by the Appoquinimink pitching combo of Savannah Laird and Ayla McCatherine. And again, they threw the ball a little bit around in that first inning, and that allowed Delmarva Christian to get the early run. And basically, that was all they needed, as Yoder was just lights out. So once again, the final today, 2-0, and we'll be back at you on Thursday with the Benny Mitchell Productions, as we'll have Sussex Central and Madge Layfield and her Golden Knights against the Cape Henlopen Vikings. So we'll have that game for you on Thursday afternoon. Our thanks to the athletic director here, Moose Jeffrey Moore, and both coaches, Appo's Brian Timpson and Rachel Fetterman here at Delmarva Christian. For our broadcast crew, Benny Mitchell producing, Matthew Westcott on camera, and my broadcast partner, Shannon Timmons, I'm Glenn Fraser. Final again, 2-0, Delmarva Christian over Appo. Thanks for viewing the live stream here on Delaware Live, powered by 302 Sports.
The things that matter most happen right in our own backyard. Our neighbors, our schools, the places we go, and the people we know. And now there's one news outlet where our story is told. Delaware Live. Locally owned, community-based news. Free to every reader, because Delaware's future belongs to all of us. Quality journalism we can trust to help us take on the day. Delaware Live. Our state, our news, our home. The things that matter most happen right in our own backyard. Our neighbors, our schools, the places we go, and the people